In this lesson, we will cover one of my favorite features of Drupal out of the box, content revisions. The goal of a content management system is to enable people of all different skills to easily edit content. In some sites, this might mean that dozens of people are managing the content on the site, and one person may make changes that another doesn't understand. On other sites, it might mean that someone with less comfort formatting content may save changes that end up with a broken page, and they'll need to quickly recover from their mistake. When you edit a piece of content in Drupal, you can set it to store a revision. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to edit this page about Tastykakes for All by clicking the Edit tab here, and I'll go ahead and make a couple of changes. I'll add a paragraph return, and perhaps I'll turn this into a list. Now, over in the right-hand column, the first box is Published, and there's a little checkbox there that says Create New Revision. So I can go ahead and check this off, and I even have a box here where I can put in a log message. Now that I've made this change, I can go ahead and save my piece of content. I'll keep it published, and About Tastykakes for All has changed slightly in layout. In addition to having changed based on the edits that I made, I also now have a Revisions tab appear in the top. If I click on the Revisions tab, then I can see a list of all of the revisions of this particular piece of content. I can also review a previous revision by clicking on the date and timestamp for that revision. Notice that the log message here shows markup. The code is being escaped by the theme. This is a non-critical bug in the current version of Drupal 8. At some point, this bug will be resolved, but it may or may not be resolved by the time that you're using Drupal 8. You can still tell what the log message says by looking past the markup and finding the message itself. There is also a very handy contrib module to work with content revisions called diff. Diff enables the user to compare two versions. I've already downloaded the diff module to this site, so all I need to do is go ahead and click on Extend, where I can access all of the modules that are available, and look for this particular module. Now I can go ahead and enable the module by checking it off and clicking Save Configuration. The diff module is one of the modules that you can bring into your site and enable, and it will automatically update the site with the changes. There's no real configuration needed in order for diff to function the way that you want it to. Now that I've enabled the module, I can go back to the site and back to the published version of the About page, and then I can click on the Revisions tab, and you'll notice that it looks completely different. First of all, the log message is displayed in a much more meaningful manner because it's not wrapped with all of the markup. But now I also have this option to compare different versions of this particular node. There are only two versions right now, so they're both checked off for the comparison. But if I click on Compare here, it will show me the differences between these two versions of this particular piece of content. There are many other excellent modules available for expanding content revision functionality. In Drupal 7, some of the highlights are the Workflow module and the Workbench module. Workflow allows you to set various rules as to when the content is published and who can access the content when it's in different states. Workbench makes it very easy for you to store a draft version of your content while you still have a published version live for the public, which enables you to further refine the content moderation permissions on your site.